Good evening. This is Shot Across Sports Network with the Double A, bringing you another show. Today we're going to talk about Tennessee Vols and what's going on with them. It's a lot of information going on out there with the Tennessee Vols, and we're going to touch on it. Probably some of the big news you'll see coming across my ticker there at the bottom of the screen. But one of the big things is that I think Charlie Garner from AZ Sports, I believe, reported that Rodney Garner has been signed and he's ready to continue coaching with the Tennessee Vols. There was a lot of speculation about him going to Auburn with Coach Golish, but apparently they were able to get him convinced that he needed to stay at Tennessee and work with Jim Knowles on the defensive line. So that's good news for Tennessee. And then the other thing is there's still a lot of speculation about whether Aguilar is going to get his second year with the Tennessee Vols. So the judge hadn't made a ruling on it, but everyone is thinking that the ruling's already been passed down and that this is going to be Aguilar's last year with Tennessee. So once he plays in that bowl game, this will be his last hurrah, I guess. But that's what everybody's saying. That's what all the media pundits are saying, as well as the YouTube shows are saying. So that's what's going to happen with Aguilar. Now, also what happened earlier in last week, I think it was, Legend Bay was finally released. I think it was Wednesday last week. Tennessee released Legend Bay so he could go on and sign with Ohio State, which was where he wanted to go. And the thing is, you don't want to have someone disrupting your locker room if they don't want to play somewhere and they were forced to be there. So the story is almost too long to even talk about, but apparently he was only 17 years old when he signed with Tennessee, and his mother signed for him. So he didn't want to go to Tennessee. He thinks that he has a better chance of getting to the NFL if he goes to Ohio State. And when you look at it on paper and you look at it realistically, he does probably have a better chance of going to the pros at Ohio State, because Tennessee hasn't had a first-round wide receiver since 2016, and that was Cordell Patterson in 2016. So and of course I remember Cordell played only 1 year. He came to Tennessee from junior college and played 1 year, and then left and went to the pros. And he's had a very successful career. Hopefully Brazel will get picked up in the first round. As long as he does real well in his pro day, and if he gets invited to the combine as a junior, if he runs well at 6'5", 200 pounds, then he may move up that ladder and be that second or third receiver, or could possibly be the first receiver off the board. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But some other news is so opting out for the bowl game is Colton Hood, apparently Arion Carter, Josh Joseph, and Chris Brazel. And then, of course, Jamal McCoy was never going to play anyway. And then I think Ricky Gibson is still, trying to get over his injuries. So I don't believe he's going to play either. But he's coming back next year. Transfer portal, Tennessee has 7 in the transfer portal, as you see on my ticker going across there. And those players are Jake Merkler, the quarterback, Jamal Wallace. Now, I'm a little bit ahead of myself, because the transfer portal does not open until the 2nd of January. But these are guys that are expected to go into the transfer portal. And that's Jake Merkler, Jamal Wallace, Kellen Lindstrom, Peyton Lewis, Brendon Eames, and of course Lance Hurd. There's some speculation about him. He's waiting for his evaluation to come back from the NFL on whether he'll be drafted or not. If he stays one more year and plays left tackle, he could be pick the first offensive tackle off the board next year in the 27 draft. So he may be staying. Now, there's also some rumors that he could go in the portal and go to another team. And then there's also some issues with David Sanders where he wants to play left tackle. And so he don't want to wait. If he doesn't want to wait another year to play left tackle, then that's going to create some issues also. But hopefully that all get ironed out. And of course, Marcus Goree, he's in the portal, and of course, Boo Carter's in the portal. Boo Carter's the highest rated ball in the portal. And so that's what's going on with the opt-outs and so forth. But like I say, Tennessee's going to be very active in the portal as far as trying to get a quarterback to replace Aguilar. Now, the issue that you have when you go out and get a player out of the portal, what happens is it gives George McIntyre another year to develop, gives him some years to get his weight on and build up his weight, get up to around about 215, 220 at 6'6", and that'll help him out a lot. Just hope that whoever comes in to play the quarterback for this season coming up does not get hurt. If that person gets hurt, then I could see McIntyre having to go out there and play as a redshirt freshman. But I think he'll be a redshirt freshman next year. And then you got Faison Brendon coming in. And Faison Brendon's going to be a true freshman. So both of those guys can learn from whoever Tennessee picks up out there in the portal. It's a lot of competition for these quarterbacks out there in the portal. But you got Sorsby. He's the one that Tennessee is really looking at close. And then you got Josh Hoover from TCU. Of course, Sorsby's from Cincinnati. Josh Hoover is from TCU. Tennessee's looking at him. And then you also have DJ Lagway, transfer from Florida. A lot of teams are looking at him. And then you also have Raiola. Raiola is from Nebraska. And of course, Raiola, he committed to several different teams before he finally settled on Nebraska. So he's one of the quarterbacks out there. And then you got Levitt out there and from Arizona State. He's another quarterback that's out there in the portal. And then you got Kenny Minchey. He's actually a local kid from John Paul in Hendersonville. He's out there in the portal too. So he's another hot commodity out there too. So it's about 6 or 7, maybe 8 quarterbacks out there. That then you got Pabula, who was the starting quarterback from Missouri, and he's in the portal also. And he played at Penn State for a little while too. So, and I think the North Texas State quarterback, he's been projected to go in the portal. Now, I'm thinking he's actually a freshman. He was a true freshman, so he'll be a sophomore in the portal. But the thing about this kid, he's probably going to Oklahoma State with the head coach. Because the head coach of, I think his name is Morris, I think. He's the head coach of North Texas State, is headed to Oklahoma State to be the head coach there. And I think he's going to probably take his quarterback with him. Trying to find all my notes from earlier in the day. So I mentioned Sorsby, Sam Levitt, Kenny Minchey, DJ Lagway, and Dylan Raiola. Those are top five. And then Pabula, you could throw him in there also, along with some other quarterbacks. But it's about 9, maybe 8, 9 quarterbacks out there. I mentioned Rodney Garner coming back. Tennessee's in hot pursuit of some portal players that's familiar with Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles' concepts and how he runs his defense. And that's Chaz Coleman, who's a redshirt. He'll be a redshirt freshman. And he was a freshman last year at Penn State, but he was recruited by Jim Knowles. He's an edge rusher, real good player. He was a top 50 player, 5-star. And then another kid by the name of Aaron Williams. He's another kid that's looking at Tennessee also. And then Larry Rawls, he's another kid that was recruited by Jim Knowles. He's a safety. And so he's got Tennessee listed as one of his teams he's looking at. So Tennessee with Peyton Lewis going in the portal, Tennessee is looking for a running back now too. So they're going to have to go out and get a bell cow running back, somebody to go with Bishop and work in there with Baker and Morris. So that's some big news. There's another kid, a defensive lineman from Auburn that has 2 years of eligibility. He's in the portal too. It's Marion Williams. He's in the portal. He's a defensive lineman too. So that's 2 defensive linemen from Auburn that's in the portal. And then that's just about all the news that I have. So I'm gonna look at. So let's look at our draft. Let's look at our draft for eligible players again for Tennessee. But Josh Joseph, he's the leader right now for the edge rushers. They have him in the first, but that's changed. I think his rating has gone from a first round to probably a day 2. And then of course Star Thomas, I have him down there as a 4-7, 4th to 7th round, 4th through the 7th round, and he may be a free agent. Kitselman, I still got Kitselman going in the 4th through the 7th round, so he in those rounds he's the 3rd day guy, but I still got him as a 3rd day guy. Dominic Bailey, he's been accepted for one of the Hula Bowl, I believe. And of course, if he goes out there and performs well in front of NFL coaches and NFL scouts, he could move up. And of course, Chris Brazel, I got him going in the 1st or 2nd round. He could go higher. Jamal McCoy right now is the first defensive back off the board. Jackson Moy, free agent, undrafted free agent. Tyree West, he's been picked for a bowl game too. He's put for the American Bowl. So if Tyree gets out there and plays well and really does well in front of the NFL coaches, he's got a good chance of going or moving up and higher in the draft. Joey Aguilar, they have him as a free agent, but Joe can do some things to get his stock up, play well in this bowl game coming up, and also get invited to the combine. If he can get invited to the combine and see how he throws and so forth, he should get drafted. And that's just my opinion. Colton Hood, they still got him going on some boards, number 28 or 29 in the draft. So he's coming out. And then Turntine, undrafted free agent. McMurray, he's been selected for the Senior Bowl. So he goes to the Senior Bowl. Jalen McMurray, he has a great chance of getting drafted also, especially if he gets picked for the combine too. William Wright, undrafted free agent. And then of course Aaron Carter, his draft grade came back pretty good, so he looks like he's going to be a second day. He could be a second day pick in the draft. So that's just looking at that. And if anything change, I'll let you know on that. But and then some other things I want to show you. Let me pop this over to you. So I don't have this in, but this right here is the result. So I'm just looking at here. So James Madison played Oregon, got boat raced, and so they'll play Texas Tech in the next round. And then of course Alabama beat Oklahoma. They'll play Indiana in the next round in the quarterfinals. And that's on the December the 31st and January the 1st. And then Tulane got boat raced by Ole Miss. They'll play Georgia on December 31st or January 1st. And then Miami beat Texas A&M. That was a defensive battle. And they will play Ohio State in the quarterfinals. So Ole Miss has faced Georgia. I don't know if did Ole Miss beat Georgia in the regular season, but anyway, it's going to be a rematch between those two teams. And that's what's going on with the playoffs. And then some other information I want to show you. Just looking at the revenue streams of the Power Four conferences: Big Ten, Big 12, ACC, and the SEC. Big Ten average valuation is $1.2 billion, and they have a contract term. This is media rights contract term of from 2023 up to 2030. Big 12 revenue stream, and the average valuation is $710 million. Okay, now this is what they're getting from the media outlets, and I think this is per year. You know, and then the ACC $380 million, and the SEC $240 million. So that's the money that goes through the leagues for revenue sharing. And then just looking at this other slide I got here. So this right here is a slide that shows how much money teams actually spend on their programs, on athletic programs. Texas is number one with $1.48 billion per season. Ohio State spends $1.35 billion per season. Texas A&M spends $1.32 billion per season. Georgia $1.16 billion per season. Michigan, I think they was 1.15. I think that may have been a typo, but 1.15 billion. Then Notre Dame's 1.3 billion. Tennessee's 1.12 billion. USC, Southern California, is 1.10 billion, and Alabama's 1.9 billion, and of course Nebraska is number 10, 1.6 billion. And so it's a lot of schools on that list that run all the way down. I didn't see Memphis on the list when I went out to that website and looked around. I didn't see them on the list. They should be on there. But see, that's the thing. The American Athletic Conference doesn't get any of the big media deals. And so that's the reason why they don't get the media revenue that the Power 4 schools get. So that's the story on that. And then just looking at the transfer portal. So these are some of the new entries in the transfer portal. Vanderbilt had one going there. They had this kid here go in there. Let's see. In the transfer portal. Bosky Barrett. But Vanderbilt only has 4 in the portal from what I indicated earlier. They have 4 people in the portal. This Barrett kid may make it 5. Tennessee has, like I said, they have 7. Memphis has about 9 in the portal. And it's Bryce Anderson went in the portal, so it may make it 10 for Memphis in the portal right now. Of course, Middle Tennessee has 4 in the portal also. So right now, Memphis and Tennessee has the most players in the portal. And of course, the smaller schools, TSU and Austin Peay, I'm not really tracking them. There's no telling what they're going to do for as players and so forth. But on the 2nd of January, all this stuff comes to fruition. Sutton Smith just went in the portal. He's one of the best running backs Memphis has. So the likelihood of him staying at Memphis, he's probably headed to Arkansas. So a lot of the players, it's going to be several players from University of Memphis is going to transfer over to Arkansas in the transfer portal since the coach Silverfield went over there. Which I can say the same thing about Southern Mississippi. There's going to be a lot of players from Southern Mississippi where the new coach came from, and Charles Huff is going to bring some of those players over with him, same way he did when he left Marshall. But with that said, that's going to end this show. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the thumbs up for me, and it helps the channel. And we'll have some more information for you on the next show.